Was nearly lost when Pol Pot happened because many of the elder people were killed in that period. So one of the girls' grandmothers actually knew traditional dance, so she taught her granddaughter, and then her granddaughter taught her friends, so it was passed through the generations. And now this centre has begun teaching it and keeping the tradition alive. I got to try on or wear one of the costumes, and they are held together by pins, and yeah, they're very interesting costumes. And because the boys' costumes didn't fit anymore, we donated $200 to the centre in order to buy new costumes for the students. And $200 doesn't seem, sometimes it doesn't seem like a lot, but in Cambodia $200 is a lot of money because many people don't have any money at all. So this has got to help them keep the tradition going.
Do you visit the sites where poor people live?
Yeah. When we were in Cambodia, we visited one of the villages there, and the village that we visited was Ton's village, and Ton is one of the ladies who works with Cambodia Connect from Australia. And going to the village, we got to see what it was like to live there, and it is not very nice to live there because first of all, there's no real beds, there's no real rooms, there's not really like a proper bathroom either, no proper toilet, no proper shower, so you kind of just have to go with the flow because you can't really do anything. There's no kitchen or anything in the house, so
is the water drinkable?
No. You had to take bottled water everywhere you went because you can't drink the water in Cambodia, otherwise you get really sick. So we had lots of bottles of water and many eskies, or like moved water and ice to keep them cold because in the village it was 99% humidity, so it was very hot, it was very stuffy, it was very sticky, and it wasn't nice. Before arriving at the village, we climbed to Phnom Chisor, which was 440 steps. And that was one of the hardest things I have ever done in my life because walking up lots of stairs to visit an ancient, torn down temple, it's nice, but once you get there, it's good, but climbing up is the worst torture because, and because I'm small and the steps are like this high, it's kind of hard for me to climb up. So, but that was one of the worst experiences. And after that, we went to the village, and because we just climbed this big building, all of us were tired, many of us were sick. People were getting nosebleeds, so we were supposed to stay in the village for 2 nights, but they moved it to 1 because many of us were sick. When we were in the village, we got to spend some time with the village children who didn't really know how to talk English, so we taught them some activities, and I got to speak with a girl who was my age, and just her life compared to mine is very different. Like the house that she lived in was very small. She walked to school and she didn't really have much, where it made me realise that I have a lot. Like she had no phone, I had a phone. She probably didn't have any technology at all, where my house is full of technology. they probably don't have a lot of power either because our place that we were staying in was fairly new. They'd just built it a few months before we arrived, so we had good electricity and power, but some other places wouldn't. And pretty much seeing their life compared to yours makes you realise how much you have and how lucky you really are. And then after we got to teach the children, we got to sing songs and play with them. We went and had lunch and cooked by Ton's family, and it was really nice. They can cook very good, even though there's not kitchens, they make use of what they have and have fires and things like that. After that we went and did some things and went for walks around town, or around the village, which is pretty small, so we got that done pretty quick. At sunset we went to the rice fields and seen the sunset behind the rice fields, which that was one of the most amazing things I'd ever seen, just like the colour contrast, and it was really pretty and many of us enjoyed seeing the sunset. Then we returned home, had dinner, and then we went to our rooms, and we had one room for nearly 20 girls, and each of us had a suitcase as well, so our room was full and we couldn't really walk anywhere. And then we had mosquito nets put up so you couldn't really walk. And so yeah, it was a very interesting experience because we didn't really have a mattress, we had no pillow, and we got given sheets and blankets, but you didn't want to use them because it was very hot. So yeah, my friend woke me up during the night and made me go outside, and that was very scary because there's lots of dogs in Cambodia, and so they followed us, and because we couldn't use the amenities that were beneath our house, so we had to walk across into another area, and these dogs were following us. And I remember I was freaking out so much, and my friend went into this place, and I stood there and I was freaking out, and then she walked out and this dog came up to me and I was screaming, so we kind of woke up the people, but oh well. Yeah, so the village was a very interesting experience, and we got to work in the rice fields as well, so plant rice, and we got taught by Ton's family how to do that, and that was very dirty work because the people who did it were covered in mud, but I didn't because many of us were very not feeling well and were sick, so we couldn't do it, so we just sat and watched, and it was very hot, so it wasn't very nice to sit there for a while. They were some of the village children that we got to work with, and this was the girl that I got to sit down and talk with, so we went to the Cambodian night markets, and there we got to walk around in our tuk-tuk groups, and we got to buy presents for our family and friends, and there we got to buy dinner as well. So dinner in Cambodia costs less than $10 a person. So my friends and I stuck to food that we knew, so just pizza, and then many people seen fried ice cream, so they went and had...
Like Chinese people?
Yeah.
More or less.
So many of the kids went and got a fried ice cream after they'd eaten their dinner. So that was good that we had traditional food that we knew as well. In the night markets, you walked around with your group and you got to see all the different things. And I remember my group, I had 2 girls who loved to shop, so we pretty much stopped at every single store in this marketplace. And it wasn't the best thing in the world because we were there for a very long time and then we didn't have enough time to eat and get drinks and things like that. This was the Royal Palace that I was talking about earlier. So that was the group of students that I went with, and there was about 25 of us. So 20 of them were girls.
Is it bright because is it made of gold? Also on the outside?
I don't think that's gold. I think that's just the colours. I don't know. I can't remember.
Because I said before that it is full of gold.
Yeah, there's lots of gold there, but I can't remember if the roofs are gold or if that's just the way they've been done. The second last day we got to do kind of what we wanted because we were meant to be in the village. So we got to sleep in for the first time because during the week we had to wake up at 6:30 and be down for breakfast by 6:37. So the girls that I was like sharing a room with were waking up at like 5.